Third Eye Truth Theorem podcast. I am your host, James Gill. Welcome to the show once again. There's a few things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about my last podcast. That was, to say the least, a little controversial. We got a lot of feedback on this whole thing. As far as, well, not necessarily. We got a lot of feedback from women, put it that way. And I'm not here to apologize, but it is what it is. It's a topic of the day, and I just wanted to talk about it. But listen, I want to encourage all you women out there that have this feedback to join this podcast for a rebuttal on the same topic we had last night. It's only fair. A lot of women were saying that, oh, why don't you have women on there? Well, I'm giving you this chance now. If you have a I don't know, some kind of feedback on that, just hit me on the email. I'm gonna send my email here in a second here, since I type it in. But yeah, hit me up. I wouldn't mind having you on just to have a rebuttal and see what you guys think on the topics that we had last night, because it got a little wild and it went a little crazy. Definitely didn't go in the direction that we wanted it to, but hey, that's the human nature right there. We have emotions and we have ideas and opinions on things. We should be able to address those opinions without being more or less, I don't know, criticized. Well, you can't be criticized, but I guess have an open mind about things like that. It's 2021. We should be able to speak our minds and not be overly criticized on what we say. Some things shouldn't be said. I'm gonna bring Terry back on again. I know you guys probably hate that guy, but he's a good guy generally. What I really want to talk about is the PC culture. What we've been going up against in the last 10 years. We can't say anything these days. Can't speak our minds. Can't voice our opinions. And it's getting a little troublesome. I just watched the Dave Chappelle series on Netflix, and he's been getting a lot of flack on a lot of things he said. There's some things about the transgender community that Dave Chappelle said that definitely triggered them and put them in a bad mood. And he's been doing it for a while. So I'm right now, I'm not seeing the controversy that's going on. He's been doing this for a while, and now everybody wants to speak up. Everybody's saying he's wrong and they want him banned. That's unfortunate, and nothing against the LGBTQ community at all. I have tons of friends that are strong followers and involved in that community. This is something we all have to talk about as adults. It's something we have to be open to talk about without being upset. And it kind of bothers me to the point where I just want to scream. There's things that we should be doing that are more constructive instead of being negative about it. People are really butthurt these days, and then no pun intended, but people are hurt by these words. And you got to remember this. These are just words. They're social constructs to maybe get us triggered, to maybe have us react to people in a certain way. I've had words against me that have been, somewhat negative. I'm going to give you guys a chance to put the comments in. But at the same time, if we go down this avenue any further and keep thinking the way we're thinking right now, it's going to only come to a bitter end. We have to be more open-minded about the things that we say. We have to be open-minded with things what other people may say. They're only words. They're only words. I've followed Dave Chappelle for a long time, and I think he's a brilliant comedian. He's come a long way. And One of the things that was brought to my attention from a friend of mine that a couple of our friends got triggered by that that he said he didn't like white people. That's the basis of his comic stand up routine. That's the base of it, and he's always done that for a long time. He hasn't shied away from it, and it's been very funny, very funny for people to get upset by race or or somebody commenting on your race. I think you totally should be ashamed of yourself. People have opinions, and people were brought up different ways. And I try to explain this to them. We were all brought up different ways. We were taught different things when we were growing up. Me, I was told to be afraid of white people. I found that was totally wrong. I went down those avenues where I've had confrontations with bitter white people. There's nothing wrong. I remember the first fight he got into in the third grade. It was and I'm still friends with this guy to this day. His name is Jay Jolly. Because he dropped the N-bomb on me, and this was the third. And mind you, this is in the '80s, and this is when I was just going to Coloma Elementary School. Punched him in the stomach, and I got in trouble for it. I was sent to the principal's office, and I was only in the third. No, actually, it was the fourth grade. I'm sorry, it was the fourth grade. I correct myself. This is something that I still remember to this day. But like I said, I'm still friends with the guy. He's a good guy. Every time I see him, we always have nothing but good things to say about each other. This is what's wrong with our society. We teach hate. We teach hate. When a baby comes out of the womb, they know nothing but what they're taught, and that goes with everything. It goes with everything. I mean, everything that you taught, everything that you know now, you've been taught by your parents, or by your grandparents, or by your uncles, your cousins, the whole night, or your friends. The things you pick up on the street, you've been taught that, and it's a shame that we have to go be upset by something what people were taught and hate that person for that. That's not their fault. They were taught that. Now the way we communicate should be some way different, something different. The way we communicate with each other, we should be able to have an open mind, sit down and have a grown up talk about the way things are. There's no excuse for it. This is very sad. Very sad. Everybody, this is very sad. I don't care where you're from, where you've been. You should be able to have an open talk about everything that you want to talk about without being ridiculed on your opinion of things. This cancel culture has been something horrible. I had one incident where I was called a homophobe, and I'm far from that. Far from that. There was a bunch of people who came into my bar, and they were talking about movies, and then the guys were talking about the Avengers movie that came out. They were all excited, very excited. One girl out of the crowd started talking about the Elton John movie. Now I'm just listening to this whole thing unfold. Prior to that, two women came in, and there's one girl I particularly know. I'm not too fond of her, but that's a different story. She was with another chick, and I served them the drinks. Now, mind you, that conversation was still going on down there. The ladies talking about the Elton John movie, and the guys are like, "Oh no, I don't want to see that." And then she calls my name out of nowhere. I felt like it was almost a bait, a hook, line, and sinker. James, what do you think about this? It's Elton John. And I said, nah, not my type of movie I want to see. Just my opinion. So conversation goes on and on. And for some reason, I was like, okay, let me get in this conversation for a second. Just throw my opinion around. Now, what I said, that's not my cup of tea. I just don't, man, I have that right to choose that. But when she went on, I think she almost tried to, like I said, she tried to bait me into saying something that I didn't want to say. And I didn't, I chose my words wisely, chose my words wisely. And she said, you know what? It's not because he's gay that I don't want to watch it. I'm not a fan of his. And she said, exactly when I said that, she's like, that's why I was going to ask you. That's unfortunate. I said, you know what? I have lots of friends that are gay. Tons of friends of people that are lesbians, gay men. I know tons of gay men. Very good friends with them. And the conversation went on, and the same two chicks that I saw before that I gave drinks came back in and said, "Well, you're not their friends. If you don't believe in that, that's just my opinion. If you don't believe in that, you're not their friends." And I thought about it. I was like, "Wait a minute. How can I not be friends if we don't have the same opinion on things? We disagree on something. That doesn't make sense to me." So she went on and on and on about how she's been persecuted as a lesbian or bisexual. She was sorry. Let's make sure I got this right. And she went on how the Romans persecuted people that were gay. Now this is totally untrue because I love history and I go deep into history. Most of the Roman men were gay. They were bisexual. They love boys. That was part of the male upbringing. Now, this is like I said, this may be controversial. I understand that. But don't take my words the wrong way because the way I see it, everybody has an opinion and it should be able to have that opinion if they choose. Now she went on and I was just schooling with history facts. Like even the Greeks were the same way. Where do you think the Romans learned that from? And well, she then she goes on how her friend was bullied because she was gay, or I think it might be. Yeah, I think it was a she, you know, because she was gay. I instantly blurted out, "Well, what about black people being persecuted?" And this is nothing about. Actually, it goes down the same line. So, what about black people? They've been persecuted for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. She kind of shut up. Now, after this, she took off. I gave her a check. But she continued outside. She went into a car and made a 19-minute blog and put it on my Facebook page. 19 minutes on how I was this big homophobe. How I didn't like her. I was looking at her boobs, or it was just disgusting. Disgusting. Moral of the story is we all have opinions. We all have dislikes and likes. We should be able to express that as long as it's tasteful. People, you got to understand, we can't get upset by words. Words are meant to divide us, just like religion is meant to divide us. Politics meant to divide us. We have to be smarter than that. We have to come together, be able to talk one on one about everything. Put everything on the table. Stop being scared of what may happen if you say the wrong thing. Also, be conscious of what you're saying too, because these, I mean, like words. I mean, once you say something about somebody, words, you can't take those back. You can say you're sorry, but you still said it. You still said it. My idea on a perfect country, and which is probably won't ever happen, is just everybody be able to talk openly, openly about everything. We have people arguing over the stupidest things, sports, blah blah blah, yakety yak. I see it all the time. I'm really getting fed up with it. If I had my way, I will ban people from ban people from stupid people from talking because we have a lot of people that are stupid. Don't think before they act. Always reacting without any thinking involved. Now, I have a lot of friends that do that same thing. They react without thinking. And I'm always thinking to myself, like, Jesus, come on. Did you just say that? It goes along with men speaking to women in a certain way. You know what I mean? I hear some men how they talk to women. I mean, trust me, I've done it before. I'm no exception. But we all have to start thinking. I can't stress that enough. We have to start thinking the way we talk to people. People are too sensitive these days that we can't talk to them. They're quick to say you hate this and you disagree with this. Right? Everybody can. You can disagree. Don't be afraid of that. You can disagree with someone. You can go against the status quo. Everything's all gloom and doom. You can't do anything anymore. You can't speak out against the media. Can't speak out against people that think uh being married before. Dating before marriage. Living with the parents, or they're not parents, but your spouse before marriage is a bad thing. We have to start thinking. What do we want in life? This is all about us. What do you want in life? You don't be told what to do because before you know it, it's going to be illegal to think. The way things are going, it's going to be illegal to think. Do you really want that to happen? I don't. I continue to stress this enough. I can't stress it enough. I continue to talk about this because we tend to forget to think. And the older generation remembers how it is to be able to speak freely. Younger generation is they're screwing that up. Maybe we went so as parents we went somewhere. We were wrong somewhere down the line where everything has to be. Oh, you have to watch what you say. Don't say this. Address this person this way. Use pronouns. Dave Chappelle has tiptoed around a lot of that. He's a very popular man. He's a very popular man right now. John Gruden, another. I'm not sure, but I can't get too far into that because I don't know all the details. But when you put stuff in emails and it's racist, then it's going to come and bite you in the ass eventually. It will. It'll get you. Listen, guys, I love everybody. Uh, I'm not sure everybody loves me, but that's a different story. Don't really care. But I give you respect as long as you give me respect. That should be the bottom line. That should be the bottom line right there. This is going to be a short video, but you can definitely follow me on all these different platforms, such as my Twitter account, got YouTube, even got good old, I think it was a Twitch. Yeah, there it is. Follow me on all those platforms as long as as well as Facebook. But this is just a short video, and it's not even an episode, but it's a short video that I'm going to do. And I just want to put this out there, guys. Just look, be yourself. don't worry about what people say. People always have opinions. They're gonna say things to try to trigger you, try to get you upset, make you say something or react to a certain way. Like I said, my last video, maybe it hurt some feelings. I mean, probably did, but it's something that I'm passionate about. Maybe stirring the pot. Like I said, ladies, if you really want to get in on this and have a rebuttal on what that last video was, please join in. Let me send that email out. Hold on, I'm gonna give it to you in a second here. Let me type it in really fast. It's a weird email. That's all the same. Get in there a second. I'm a slow typer. I mean, right? I think I got it. Oh, there it is. I'll put that up in a second. Okay, here it is. If you guys are interested, women only, there's the email address right there on the screen. Oh, that's jacked up. I did that all wrong. I'm horrible at typing. Let's try that again. Let's edit that. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I should have had this done before I started. Holy crap, that's way off. How did that happen that way? I don't know. Use both hands. There we go. Try it again. All right, here we go. There's the email address. All right, you see that email address? Shoot me an email if you really, or hit me on Facebook in my DM or on my Facebook page for those that know me. But that's my email address. Hit me on the email. Let me know what you think. If you want to join in on the podcast, I would love to have 3 women on here to talk about what we talked about last night. Have their point of view, not just on the commentary alone, but their point of view on things of that nature. This is going to be the end of the podcast. I do appreciate everybody watching. Love you guys, and I'm out.